Welcome to Love, Life, and Marriage, the home edition with the Woods.
Woods.
I am Saiko.
And I'm Sharon.
And welcome to our channel. Please do the following. Please like, subscribe, share. Hit the notification bell at the bottom of this video. That way when we go live and post any content, information, or whatnot that we want you to see, you'll be able to see it. Also, if you'd like to support this ministry financially, first and foremost, thank you so much. Those of you who have been supporting this ministry, we do appreciate your gifts and tangible expressions of love. But if you'd like to support the ministry financially, you can do so by clicking the donation links below the bottom of the video. And if you would like to become a body lifer. What is a body lifer, dear?
That is someone who wants to join with us and become
partnering with us.
In helping the body.
And supporting this ministry as well. So again, if you'd like to do that, if you want to become a regular body lifer by monthly, semi-monthly, even annually, you want to give a big one-time quote-unquote give, hey, first of all, hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. We do appreciate it. But nonetheless, you can do that by clicking the donation links below at the bottom of the video. Also, BCV merchandise. People have been asking about the hats. We are in the process, and I'm not saying that to be just saying it. We are in the process of trying to transition and move our merchandise to another distributor. We're in the process of actually, as we speak, creating our own new website. And you're gonna laugh when you find out what the name of the ministry website is, but we think you'll like it. But it's coming soon. And then we're going to basically migrate and move all of our content, videos, newsletters. We're going to have information for those of you who would like to subscribe to our newsletters, things of that nature. So all these things are coming very, very soon. And so with that, we do appreciate your support. We appreciate your prayers as well. But don't forget to like this video, okay? Like this video. Help us get these numbers up, these subscriptions up. That way we can post and do live content without having to cross-pollinate, cross-migrate, cross-platform, all of that with the BCV
What are we at now? Do you know?
We're over 600.
Okay, so let's aim towards at least 1,000.
Yeah,
can we get at least 1,000 subs on this channel?
We need 1,000, ladies and gentlemen. Please.
So if just 1,000 of you from the BCV channel come over here to Love, Life, and Marriage, then
I mean
that would suffice.
That would be helpful, y'all.
That would be very helpful.
Come on, I mean, because we're all the same. We're all the same. This what you see over here is a little bit different, on the BCV side, but it's all one. We all together in this, so we do appreciate that. All right. We are going to talk about, we kind of a little bit late, but it's still the topic of discussion out here in these social media streets. We're going to talk about Sierra and Russell Wilson, right?
Yeah, I was going to say Simmons.
No,
that would definitely be.
And I purposely
said,
I purposely put Sierra's name first instead of Russell, because apparently she's the one that's leading. She's the one that's leading. So
we're seeing a lot of that lately, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. So we're going to talk about that and the implications behind that. Thank you, those of you who have wanted us to address this and talk about these things. Again, please share topics and ideas that you would like for us to address and to discuss. It helps us to keep videos current and consistent as well too, because we're really busy, y'all. And so any ideas you have as far as, different topics, hey, have y'all discussed this? Hey, maybe y'all can think about talking about this topic. We'd love to hear it. So thank you. All right. I'm going to share the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, viewer discretion is advised.
Yes.
And I strongly mean that. Viewer discretion is advised. If you haven't already seen it already anyway.
And most of you probably have.
But if anyone may be struggling with sexual purity, then we don't want you to stumble. So we're letting you know right now, we're going to talk about Sierra. We're going to share these articles, and pictures will be posted here on this channel. So again, you got any little kids, you got any kids going through puberty or whatever like that, sit them outside. Tell them to get some cookies or go in there.
Cookies and milk.
Yeah. Go ahead and go play on your Xbox or something. And tell them you'll be back in about 30, 40 minutes. All right, so let's share the screen, and we're going to read this article, and we're going to talk about it. Sierra wears fresh off the runway naked dress. I mean, we ain't saying it. This is what people said. Fresh off the runway, naked dress and thong for the 2023 Oscars after party. Singer who is known for her sexy red carpet choices attended the after party with husband. Notice, with husband Russell Wilson. You don't see him though right now, right? Says Sierra knows how to absolutely slay a red carpet. The singer, 37, took risque to a new level and practically shut down the Vanity Fair Oscar party red carpet when she arrived in a barely there sheer netted gown by Dundas that was fresh off the Paris Fashion Week runway. The shimmering halter dress showed everything, including a tiny black thong that covered very little. Now, I guess my thing is, dear, before we even get into the rest of this article, it said the husband was with her. That sounds familiar.
Sounds very familiar, does it not?
Yeah, that sounds familiar. So let's not play. You knew what you were doing before you even got out the house. Both of the news.
So I'm thinking that this was a second outfit because this was, but then they said she donned the red carpet, which was actually not red this year. It was actually like a gold color this year.
Is there any reason why they did that?
I don't know. They just decided to change up, I guess.
All
After
right.
all these years, they decided to change the color of the carpet.
Okay. So it says the singer paired her netted sparkly gown with elbow-length gloves, diamond drop earrings, and black strappy Santoni heels. Her beauty look was also show-stopping. She wore a smoky black eye and nude lip and wore her hair in a chick bob. Chick, whatever. Her husband and Denver Broncos quarterback, that was her final accessory, it says.
Yeah, her final accessory was her husband.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, again, there's a picture. Y'all seen it. We're going to keep scrolling, but y'all seen it, right? You go read that paragraph. Go ahead, dear.
Sierra slayed another red carpet in February at the Recording Academy Honors Black Carpet presented by the Black Music Collective in a divine black velour gown featuring an of-the-moment hood, side bob cutouts, and golden wrist wraps. She completed her look with a wavy blonde hairdo, smoky eyes, and a glossy natural lip.
Now, we're reading this because there seems to be some contradiction with what we see here in 2023 versus what we saw in 2021. Okay? It says, in December, the singer shared a video of herself walking the camera in slow motion, jaw-dropping metallic dress and sky-high heels. Sierra shared the video on Instagram to promote her upcoming gig co-hosting Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve from Disneyland. The incredible silver gown featured a plunging halter necklace and fitted corset-like bodice that ended in a long skirt with a thigh-high slit. This is the picture right here. This is the video here. Not going to play it for copyright reasons.
She had nerve to put on Mickey Mouse ears.
Yes. So again, what I find rather contradictory and ironic. Now, these people are probably Christians. That's what they profess. They profess to be Christians. Yes. They profess to be saved. Okay, so I'm confused because in 2021 we find them here bowing and praying before God 2 years ago, fully clothed. So they are professing Christians. This is from CBN News, Christian Broadcasting News, the Christian Perspective, dated August 4th, 2021. Let go and let God. Photo of Seahawks quarterback at the time when he was playing for Seattle, not playing for Denver. Photo of Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson and wife worshiping in church goes viral. I mean,
he's still playing ball?
Yes.
I don't never hear about that.
I think he was. He played for the Broncos from what said in 23.
Oh, okay.
A photograph of Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson and his wife Sierra worshiping at a local church has gone viral. Why would it go viral? I mean, but anyway. The Instagram post shows Wilson on his knees while Sierra stands behind him, holding her hands up in praise. Well, I don't think she's holding anything up in praise here. But I digress. The Instagram post shows Wilson on his knees while Sierra stands behind him, holding her hands up in praise. When Russell Wilson and Sierra are at your church bowing to Christ, I didn't take the pic the guy next to me. The next guy next to me did, it says. Okay, I just think it's fire to see God so good. Taylor Martin wrote above the image. So anyway, this is the picture. So my question I'm asking is this: what's wrong? What's wrong with them? What's wrong with them? I mean, we already, like I said, where's that other picture? I mean, what are we to make of this? And I guess the question we need to ask ourselves is this: do we have a right to comment? Do we have a right to quote unquote judge? Do we have a right to say anything about what we are seeing that's done publicly, especially among those who profess to be Christians?
Of course we do.
Why
wouldn't we? Because
why is that?
You are professing to be a believer of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And there should be some type of fruit. There should be some type of outward showing, even in your dress, in your behavior, in your conversation, that says, I'm a follower of Christ.
Okay.
It should not just be for a photo op or just to say, okay, well, yeah, we went to church.
So there are people that are commenting saying, what's the problem? Y'all are hating. Y'all, judgmental Christians.
Look,
and all that. So,
look.
Is there any
sense
of...
Hold on.
Go ahead.
I understand. This is the only thing that I understand, but there's a caveat to that. I've heard people say that, this woman has had, 2-3 babies? And she wanted to show off her figure and all of that.
Okay.
That's not for us to see. I mean, I'm happy that she did it. However, the flip side of that is she had help. Normal folk don't look like that after having 3 babies.
What do you mean by normal? What do you mean by normal folk? Can you break that down?
Everyday people who are not celebrities, who don't have a personal chef and a personal trainer.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
That's what you mean. Okay.
All right. Anybody could look like that if they had that kind of help.
Okay.
And I'm not negating it. I'm not saying that normal folk can't do that, because they can and they have. And kudos to you. I'm not saying that.
Oh, man.
What I am saying is...
Tell us what you're saying, dear.
It's not a place to applaud such and cover it under the cloak of she's had these kids. She has a right to show off her body.
Right.
She has a right to show off her body at home to her husband.
Right.
Not to the whole wide world.
So what does that say about the husband? Let's be honest. You being a woman, I'm asking you. What does that say about the husband?
To me, it says he doesn't care. To me, it says he's allowing her to do what she wants because of the culture and the society in which we're living in now, where everything is pro-woman.
But can he really stop her?
Physically, no.
Okay.
No, he cannot.
Okay.
But if she's a professing believer and he tells her, babe, I don't think you should wear that. You need to wear something a little bit more modest, a little bit more covered up, because what you're showing is for me. That belongs to me. Those are for my eyes only. Right. That is not for the world wide to see. And then what you're not even thinking about is your kids. You got girls and boys.
They probably don't care.
So you have children who are going to grow up and see this.
They probably don't care.
And their friends are going to see this. So your friends are going to see your mom's behind on
literally
on the internet.
What does that also say about if these people are members of a church?
Oh my goodness, that's even worse, because now
what should that say? What does that say about the church that they go to?
Well,
can we talk about that?
Well,
I mean, accountability. What are we going to say about that? Anything?
They're not going to say anything. First of all, because they don't want to lose that amount of giving that they're giving, whatever that might be. Their donations.
Okay.
And I would also say that now you have, if they have a pastor, the pastor has now seen your natural behind.
Literally.
So now you got people in your church visualizing what you look like. And now they really don't have to visualize it. Now they can just click on it and look at it.
So what my question is, again, to you and those who are watching, what should the church do? Let's make it perfect. What if what if Sierra and Russell were members of our church? Now we didn't know that they did. We saw it. We were just as surprised and shocked everybody else was as watching it on the Oscars, right? So what would be your first reaction?
I'll be picking up the phone.
You picking
hey
the phone
girl,
for what?
hey sis. You don't need to do that. You can't do that.
So you would contact them?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then okay, so what do you think I should do as a pastor if a member of our church
tell him he need to man up?
Okay. And that's it?
Yeah, you need to start there. Okay. You gotta start there.
I would say also there needs to be a public apology. There will need to be a public apology made to the church and to the world. I know some people may think that's a stretch. I don't, because I believe that's you. If you're representing Christ, we are ambassadors, right? We're supposed to be ambassadors, and so I want to share our screen and read this Bible verse here. This is in Matthew chapter 5, verse 16. We all heard it before. I believe it's still applicable. Let your light shine before men in such a way that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. Let your light shine, not your behind.
Right.
Or in her case, her goodies, right? Because she got
songs.
Her goodies, right? So don't let your goodies shine, but let your good works shine. That's what we're supposed to be doing, right?
Yep. And it's really no different than, I mean, you got to think about even the Megan Goods of Hollywood, and her husband couldn't control her. He defended her nonsense. So, and you see that marriage didn't last.
So from the saved and unsaved, you have women that are with men that either are weak or passive. So you got Will and Jada. You got you have Megan. Well, now they're divorced.
They're divorced now. So.
So I'm wondering, did that occur because he got tired of her, because she wanted to be for the streets, so she wanted to do her own thing. I don't know, but nonetheless, and then you have this couple, and so you had two couples that profess to be Christians. I mean, Will and Jada, they've been about their life since day one, made it clear. But you have two professing Christians that basically whose wives have either left them or basically, I mean, Sierra kind of like left the building anyway. I mean, when you do that kind of stuff, you've left the building. I mean, she's there, but that's.
I'm like there's a serious heart issue when women do things like that because you are not unaware. You are not unaware at all what you're doing. No. You are. There's a spirit behind that. There's a heart issue behind that.
It's an unclean spirit.
You are desiring something. You are putting yourself out there half naked or mostly naked because you are desiring someone to give you applause. You're desiring someone to want to like you.
What would make a person? I mean, okay, because we got 4 girls, and I'll be one of the first to tell. I'll be one of the first ones to tell them. How you carry yourself, what you dress,
it matters.
What you wear, how you wear it, all of that.
It matters.
It matters. It's important, and people can say that I'm being the fashion police, whatever you want to call it. As a man, I know what men look at, and I know what men want, and I know that it doesn't take much for women to actually make themselves noticeable. It don't take much, especially if you're developed, and especially if you're very curvy or You have, your body is pretty much, it accentuates certain areas. You already know. So
And I
why draw
know
attention
that.
to yourself?
I know that from experience. Do I not?
I am not about to answer that question. I'm gonna let you go ahead and tell the world what you mean by that, ma'am. Because you see, that sounds like a setup to me. That sounds like that. That almost like a yeah. I know what you mean. No, tell.
My pre-salvation days, not post, pre. This was before we were married, any of that.
Well, tell them.
Um,
Yeah, tell them what you did.
but I mean, in my
Tell them when you got a ticket or which
no, I'm
one.
not speaking about tickets,
Okay,
sir.
well, ma'am. See, that's why. That's why I say I shouldn't have said anything because then you just set me up talking about you asked me a question, and then when
Although that was one of the times, exactly. Yes, yes, I did wear um, shorter skirts because I knew that if I got pulled over, I'd be able to get out of my ticket, and I did.
well, if there was a lesbo, you'd have been in trouble.
Well, yeah, but I never got pulled over by a lesbo. So,
Oh my goodness. Okay.
but anyway, yeah, that worked for me at least twice.
Wow.
But
Okay.
and then in my club days,
Your boogie night days. I remember boogie nights.
yes,
Never been there with her, but she always used to talk about boogie nights. So don't ask me how.
yeah, they're not even in existence anymore. But
Yeah. Okay.
anyway, but yeah, um, that was my mentality. That was how I presented myself. I dressed a certain way because, first of all, I knew what I had in my 20s, and
We still got it, dear.
thank
I have to tell. I have to tell you. I know. I have to tell you. Like, okay, you know. Anyway, go ahead. Just that's why I call you a thighness and all that. I mean, just go ahead.
thank you, dear.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I knew what my intent was when I left the house.
Yes. So women. So again, women know
Yes,
what
you
they're
show
doing.
off your assets.
Okay, so they know what they're doing
Yes,
all the time.
yes.
So there's never
absolutely.
So
You look in that mirror at least 10 times
so
before you
so,
leave.
so you're saying right now
Mm-hmm.
that there's no woman who wears what they wear who are not trying to send a message.
Oh yeah, you sending some kind of message.
You're saying there's no woman.
I don't think so.
How sure are you of that assessment? I'm just asking.
99.9.
99.9. Okay.
Because
okay.
let me tell you, the flip side of that is when I became saved, I was concerned about my attire. I was concerned about who saw what.
Okay.
I was concerned about how I presented myself when I left the house. When I go out with my husband, I ask him, okay, is this okay? I mean, I know if he likes it, but I'm wearing it for him. So I try to make sure even then when we go out that I'm not revealing too much.
Thank you, because I was gonna say we need to qualify that because just because I like it, I don't want people to think
right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't even want husbands to think because you may like it. Well, yeah, you may like it, and then that other dude that's looking at your wife is don't like it. So there's gonna be a whole bunch of likes, and follows if you ain't careful on how our wives, how our women basically carry themselves and how they dress. So I think
remember that incident we had.
I don't. We're talking about at the store at
Food
Albertsons.
Town? That was Food Town. Oh, maybe it was
Albertsons.
It was Albertsons.
Yeah, it was
Albertsons.
Okay, yeah. It was Albertsons before they changed. Yeah, the guy was a young punk was following my wife around, and she wasn't wearing anything. We was coming from church.
I had on a skirt. It was a suit, but it was a skirt, and the skirt was right above my knees. It was above my knees.
Yeah, but you weren't showing off anything.
No, I had on pantyhose and everything.
Right. Yeah. So that's my point. So, but nonetheless, even with that, but yeah, I had just came from church too, but I didn't feel like I came from church that day.
No,
I didn't. I forgot I went to church. I mean, I really did because I was about to, it was about to be clean up on aisle 3 through 10. I was about to drag that punk. I was. I mean, I put it this way, and men know when And the Bible even talks about how the jealousy of a man will overtake a man when a man, knows that his wife has been, violated or a wife has, had an affair or whatever like that, and that man wants to get at the other man for doing that. It's so with that, and then you have just the fact that a man of any stature is going to try to disrespect you in front of your wife, in front of your woman like that. That just, you don't care how tall they are. I mean, at that, it just does something to a man. So anyway, yeah, I do remember that. But that's why I was asking you, because there are women who I've heard them say, well, it's your problem, it's your problem, it's your lust issues that you have, and I'm saying to myself, okay, that may be true, but you're accelerating it, or you're adding or putting fuel to the fire.
Right.
There's one thing of basically you already dealing with your own lust and your own sin struggles, and then there's another thing when you basically are being a provocateur.
Right.
Okay. So
and God is going to hold you accountable for such. And women that, and there are some women that I love dearly, some women that I love dearly, that take pictures and that post pictures, not just taking them, but posting the pictures.
I'm gonna talk about it. I ain't gonna mention no names
of themselves with.
I ain't gonna mention no names, but I'm gonna talk about it.
With your whole behind out.
Let's just talk about it, y'all. Let's just talk about it. That's out of pocket. I'm just gonna keep it a stack with all y'all. I'm not gonna try to be BCV.
And forget about being a grown woman.
I'm not,
because I know that's the go-to. I'm a grown woman. I can.
Yeah,
if you're cool. A Christian, you're a Christian first.
Yeah, that ain't
before
cool.
You a grown woman.
That ain't cool. That ain't cool at all. Here's another thing that I've noticed.
I know what you're about to say.
Here's another thing that I've noticed, and we're gonna talk about it, y'all. We're gonna talk about it.
It's true.
I've noticed every time, or there is a pattern. There's a pattern that I've seen from women that have been divorced.
That's it.
That have been divorced, whether the man messed around and cheated on them, abused them, wasn't handling his business, whatever the case, or it could be the flip side. But just for the sake of this conversation here, let's just say the man did the woman wrong. Okay. It seems to me I've seen women, once that marriage has been dissolved, they've been divorced, they move on, and they try to move on. They've changed. They go. They cut their hair or shave their hair. Yep. They're out there now. They made from the streets.
Yep.
And I believe it's because not excusing it.
Right.
Not excusing it. Understand, but not excusing it. Probably because they've been shackled, because they feel like they've been imprisoned or whatever, and now this is their liberation.
Yeah.
No, you listen. We're free in Christ. We're not free. That's the difference. Being free and being free in Christ are two different things. And to be honest with you, can I just say, y'all, you're never really free. You're a slave of somebody.
Yeah.
You're somebody's slave. You're gonna be a slave to your flesh. You're gonna be a slave to the Father. One of the two. You're not gonna ever be free. Even before we got saved, we were still somebody's slave. We were Satan's slave. I keep telling people, Satan was pimp slapping us.
Oh yeah.
He was beast slapping us all on his corner. Get out there and be my trick. Get out there and be my whatever. He had us out there tricking. So now, if you're telling me that you're a Christian, and the attire that you see Sierra or anybody wearing that is revealing, so like my wife said, she's a woman. Y'all know what y'all are doing when y'all are out here.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking on behalf of the men, both single and married. It's not right for y'all to do what y'all do to us. It ain't fair. It ain't right at all. Because you are playing in the hands of the enemy, and actually now you're being the tool for the enemy to take your fellow brothers down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And yes. I don't think they look at it that way.
I mean, we're responsible for what we do. I'm not taking that lightly.
They don't consider what they could potentially cause their other fellow brothers to do.
But God does. He takes that very seriously. Matter of fact, let's just go there. Let's just go here real quick. We're gonna read Matthew 18 in a minute, but let's look at Mark 5 for a second. I talked about this when I was dealing with the demonic demise of a generation, dealing with the man with the unclean spirit. I believe, according to the scriptures, dear, that anytime people purposely expose themselves, that's an unclean spirit. That's an unclean spirit.
Yeah.
Mark chapter 5, Jesus meets this demoniac. Verse 1 says, and they came to the other side of the sea, of the country, of the Gerasenes. When he got out of the boat, immediately a man from the tombs with an unclean spirit. There's it right there. An unclean spirit. What kind of unclean spirit did he have? He's going to tell us. And he was dwelling among the tombs, and no one was able to bind him anymore, even with a chain. So societal wise, he couldn't be controlled. Let's just make it in the context of this conversation. There's some women right now, you can't be controlled by your husband. You won't let him tell you anything. That's an unclean spirit.
Or any other man.
Or any other man.
That matter.
So it starts with the father. If the father is in that young lady's life before she becomes a woman, but nonetheless, you have no one telling you what to do. That's an unclean spirit. That ain't the spirit of God. The Bible said the fruits of the spirit, and one of the byproducts of the spirit is self-control. Self-control. First byproduct of the spirit is love. Well, love don't seek its own.
Right.
Love considers others. So how is Sierra or any of you women that are dressing any way you want to dress, number one, showing love for God and showing love for your neighbor, i.e. your brother?
Right.
You're not. Let's just keep it real. You're not. The text says an unclean spirit. Then it says, he was among the tombs. We already know the story. I just want to show you something real quick. Verse 8, for he had been saying to him, come out of the man, you unclean spirit. And he was asking him, what is your name? And he says, my name is Legion, for we are many. And he began to implore him earnestly not to send him out of the country. There was a large herd of swine nearby on the mountain. The demons implored him. Notice, send us. More than one. More than one demon was in this man. Jesus gave them permission. They wanted to go into the swine. Jesus gave them permission. And coming out, the unclean spirits entered the swine, and the herd rushed down the steep bank into the sea, about 2,000 of them. And they were drowned in the sea. So at least, the text says it was a legion. Legion is 6,000. It was 2,000 of these herd of swine that these demons entered. So look at the ratio behind that. Right? The herdsmen ran away and reported to all in the country, and the people came to see what had happened. Notice here it is, verse 15. This is what I want to talk about. They came to Jesus and observed a man who had been demon-possessed, sitting down, clothed, and in his right mind. Something is wrong with y'all upstairs. If you leave your house half naked or close to basically being naked, the Bible says this man here, when Jesus cast that devil, these demons out of him, he was clothed and in his right mind. And Luke 8:27 says, and when he had came out onto the land, he was met by a man from the city who was possessed with demons and who had not put on any clothing. So you're not going to tell me that there's not a spiritual issue behind women or men, but in particular in this conversation, women who purposely do what this woman did at the Oscars. You're not going to tell me that.
Yep, I agree. There's definitely a spirit behind that.
One more, Matthew 18, and we'll look at verse 6 and 7. Matthew 18, verse 6 and 7. Whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to stumble, it would be better for him to have a heavy millstone hung around his neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea. So, we're not even going to talk about Sierra right now. This is for Christians. It says, whoever calls one of these little ones who believe in me to stumble. So you can be a Christian and you may be ignorant of what you're doing. Now that you know, God says I'm holding you accountable and responsible for that. So if we are intentionally causing people to stumble, to sin, to fall into any kind of sin, but in the context, sexual sin, and it could be anything. It can be anything. Whether it could be adultery, it could be masturbation, it can be fornication, it can be any of those things. Porn, any of that. God says, if you're causing these people to do this, He said you're better off killing yourself. You're better off dead. He says, verse 7 though, woe to the world because of its stumbling blocks, for it is inevitable that stumbling blocks come. God says, yeah, it's going to come because it's the world. They have no governor to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
But he says, woe to that man through whom the stumbling block comes.
Yeah.
If your hand or your foot causes you to stumble. So notice what Jesus is doing, y'all. He is holding all three parties responsible. He's holding believers responsible for what they do. He's holding the world responsible for what they do. And he's holding the individual. Mm-hmm. The individual who is now the recipient or the one maybe being tempted.
Mm-hmm. And how they respond.
So there's no excuse for either one. Nope. He says, if your hand or your foot causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it from you. Why? It is better for you to enter life crippled or lame than to have 2 hands or 2 feet be cast into the eternal fire. This is a heaven and hell issue, ladies and gentlemen. Let no one fool you. This is a heaven and hell issue. Verse 9, if your eye causes you to stumble, what we see, what we observe, because once we see it, it's hard to unsee it anymore. Yep. When it goes to the eye gate, that's it. It's a wrap.
Yep.
If your eye causes you to stumble, Jesus says, pluck it out and throw it from you. It is better for you to enter life with 1 eye than to have 2 eyes and be cast into the fiery hell. So Jesus is saying we're to take radical steps. We would call this, as the Puritans call it, radical amputation.
Yep.
It's not saying for us to literally maim ourselves or to gouge ourselves. It's not talking about that. But what it is saying is that as Christians, we are responsible for what we see, where we go, what we do, but also our other individuals and the world. No one gets a pass.
Yep.
No one gets a pass.
So that negates the statement that has always been made. Well, he's the one that needs to be, held accountable for what he shouldn't be looking.
It's both and. It's not just
right.
one-sided here. And back to my point, what we were talking about, I see these women that have been divorced or have their husbands may have left them. I'm gonna tell y'all something. You need to really seriously consider your ways. Mm-hmm. This is not a game.
Yeah.
It is not a game. The fact that you are putting pictures up and the Holy Spirit is not telling you, don't do this.
Yeah.
I mean, because it takes you a minute now to get that picture that you done took because you didn't take it. Somebody took it for you. So now you got them involved in your stuff. Mm-hmm. Then you go home, or then it takes time for you to crop it, or it takes time for you to upload it. It takes time for you to put the information or whatever on your page or pages. Listen to me. And some of y'all get mad. I don't care. I'm going to still sleep good at night. I'm going to slob on my pillow every night because I'm not going to sit back and just let my brothers and sisters fall and not say anything. This is not a joke, y'all. It's not a joke.
Right.
I know some of y'all may have been hurt. I know some of y'all may have gone through and dealt with some jerks and some sorry men. I got that. But when you stand before God, He's going to hold you responsible for what you have done as a result of what has happened to you.
Yep.
So there's nobody getting away with that. And I think this is an issue of accountability as well, too.
It is. Because when you don't have accountability, then you have that sensation rises up in you, that flesh rises up in you to say, oh, well, now I don't have anybody to be accountable to. I'm pretty much free. I can do what I want to do.
And that's just a play. That's
what the enemy wants you to believe.
He playing some of y'all like a fiddle. And
you should find yourself with some other sisters who are spiritually mature to hold you accountable and also find yourself a biblically strong church to also hold you accountable.
Right.
But when you are separated from those things, you are left to the world.
Yep.
And you're going to fall prey to those things. And then you're going to become numb to it.
Yep.
It's going to become like second nature to you when it shouldn't be.
Yep. I mean, so, we're not apologizing for what we said. I mean, if anything, some of y'all need to be apologizing for what y'all are doing. You know what I'm saying? And what y'all are saying about how you dress and the reasons why you dress the way you do. I mean, we need to start taking this stuff seriously, y'all. I mean, we really do. This is not a game. The world is going to do what the world does. Now, whether Sierra and her husband are genuinely saved, time will tell. Time will tell. Mm-hmm. But that is a sin. It's also a lack of sanctification if they really are. A lack of accountability. That's clear. Don't know who or what kind of church they go to. But if it's a true church, they need to deal with that. They need to deal with that like pronto. But it wouldn't surprise me, though, like you said, it wouldn't surprise me that these people don't have a biblical church because they're focusing on, that church probably focusing on losing that money that they probably are putting
wherever they go.
Wherever they going. If they, and they may be making cameo up here, ain't no telling, because it's a lot of these people, man, that attend churches and they're not members of church, and then you have these pastors that don't care about holding these people accountable because again, it goes back to the money. You follow the money and you see how these people deal with sin, and so that's why you have to have integrity. We're not talking about perfection. Not talking about none of us never doing anything wrong. We all do. But that's where grace and mercy and God's forgiveness come in when we confess and repent. But we can't make excuses for sin. We have to make confessions. So just wanted to talk about that. What else you got? Any other thoughts about this before we wrap it up?
No, I think I've said all I need to say.
You good?
Yep.
All right. Well, look, let us know what y'all think in the comments below. I mean, I know we said a little bit, that's going to give some of y'all something to maybe comment and talk about. But hey, judgment begins in the house of God first.
Yep.
So we're talking about Sierra. We need to be talking about the saints. We need to be talking about what we're doing.
Yep.
What are we approving? What are we, making excuses for? You know what I'm saying? Because again, we're to hold each other accountable.
If you're considering yourself a true believer, then you need to consider what it is that you are actually submitting yourself to.
Yep.
Or who you're submitting yourself to.
That's right. That's right. So I think we are, I think our position is clear. Sierra has lost her mind, and Russell is weak, and he needs to man up. She needs to be a true woman of God. He needs to be a real man of God, and they need prayer and they need accountability. They need both. I mean, that's just there's no way of even making an excuse for that. But anyway, that's what we think. Y'all let us know what you think in the comments below. We appreciate you all's time. Thank you so much. We want to continue trying to keep putting more content and more videos out. We do appreciate y'all's patience and your prayers. Again, like this video, and share the video. Subscribe to the channel. My wife said she wants 1,000.
Help us get there.
She wants 1,000. Could y'all do it? Because I know y'all gonna do it for me, but can you do it for her? How about that? You do it for her. I know she could probably get it. Then it's like, we good. Okay, if Miss Sharon do it, if Miss Sharon said it, I'll do it because I don't know about him. But if Miss Sharon said it, then I'll do it for Miss Sharon because I like me Miss Sharon. I mean, her husband. I mean, that's it's whatever. But Miss Sharon, I don't have no problem doing anything for Miss Sharon. Yeah, y'all know who I'm talking about. Both of them. But
Why
anyway,
are you talking like that when you talk about
that's what they be saying. Leave Miss Sharon alone. Then you got the other one talking about Miss Sharon. I mean, you know what, Miss Sharon? I was just thinking about you the other day. And, you know what? I was saying, man, I need to call Miss Sharon because I don't want to be calling Seiko because I call Seiko. I already know what he gonna say. I already know what he gonna do. So I rather just talk to Miss Sharon because me and Kamal, we was just anyway. Okay, I'll let y'all go. But listen, we out of here.
Sorry, sis.
I ain't sorry. I meant what I said. Now, got you. I'm the one with the mic. You gotta watch it. Until next time. Bye.